So the weather started to change yesterday. We had a beautiful sunshiny, but a little bit windy day, and now we have the threat of rain and a little bit of a chilly temperature setting in. And that, along with overdoing it these last couple weeks, has made it so that I've decided to stay in my comfy chair and in my comfy clothes and just finish up a knitting project. This is a project I started months ago. It is a spinning project that I did before I did all the Tour de Fleece spinning. So it kind of got put aside a little bit as I worked on other projects. But now I'm really close to being finished. I have a few last rows and the hood on this sweater will be done. The fiber that I used is alpaca and mohair and CVM wool. It is lovely to touch. It's nice and dense and squishy. This sweater is for my son. He asked specifically for a sweater that fit a little more tightly than the one that I made him a few years back. His sweater that I made a few years back was my first trial at adult sweaters in a long time. And so I've made a lot of improvement in the pattern for that one, but it's an oversized sweater. It's one that you just squish yourself into and curl up, and it's just a delight. But I've gotten a little better at sizing, and so he's asked for this one, to go along with the one that he already has. His sister has a hooded sweater, and so he did ask for a hood on this sweater. So I set about making this sweater for him, and set about writing down the pattern so that I could share it with him so that he could make more of his own, because yes, he too spins and he does knit as well. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to make him this sweater, and then I'm going to give him the pattern so he can make more if he chooses. So I hope that you enjoy this short video. I think it will be short. I'll show you the steeking of the sweater because the sweater was knit in the round, and then I cut it open and applied the hood after. I hope you enjoy. I'm sure I'll have a little bit more at the end, maybe some thoughts, who knows, we'll see. But I hope you enjoy. Thank you for joining me today on this blustery, chilly afternoon. We'll see you again in a few moments. Before I cut the steek open, I want to secure the area along the side of where the cut will be made with some crochet stitches. This will help prevent unraveling. What I'm doing is I'm crocheting in the loops of a column of knit stitches along where the cut will be made. It's very much like picking up stitches for a button band, only I'm using a crochet slip stitch. A single crochet would work just as well, but it would be a little more bulky. Because I am using 100% wool yarn, and it is a kind of a feltable yarn, this sweater will full up and all of these cut ends will hold in place really well. It's the beauty of steeking with wool is you don't need to run a sewing machine stitch along the edge or anything to hold everything in place. The crochet stitch will do the trick. After having crocheted along both edges, I just need to get to the end here and I'll be ready to cut the steek. I have made a crochet stitch all along both sides of where the cut will be made. This is what it looks like if I were cutting the steek from the right side. On this specific sweater, I have been cutting it from the wrong side, and we'll go back to doing it from the wrong side. It seems to work better with the way I did the steek this time. Now it's just a matter of cutting all the way to the top very carefully. I am almost there. Just a couple more snips of that stitch, and there we have it. Now just to turn the sweater right side out again, and we will see how it looks. I have folded the edge over and I am whip stitching it in place. I'm whip stitching along the crochet that I had done earlier before I cut the steek. When I run into a yarn strand from the cut, I go ahead and tuck it down with a crochet hook so that it is encased in the, I guess you could call it the hem of the opening. All that's left is to pick up stitches for a button band, if that's what you so choose. In my case, I did before I went on to making the hood. I am so glad you decided to join me today. I hope that you enjoyed this little video and maybe found the inspiration to try steeking your own sweater project. When I was first trying this technique, I looked up videos on YouTube, and then I started on doll-sized sweaters. It was just a lot less stressful to cut open a small sweater than a big sweater. But ever since that first adult sweater, I have not looked back. It makes it such a joy for me to be able to knit in the round, to be able to try on the sweater, to see it for size, top down. Raglan sweaters, a breeze, especially when you just want something comfy and cozy to snuggle up in. So I do hope that if you haven't tried steeking before, you give it a try. Find yourself a video that gives more instruction if you choose, and dive right in and join the steeking craze. It is a lovely way to make it a little bit easier, and it can be used in different patterns once you understand the concept. So again, I am so glad you were able to join me today, and I look forward to coming back in a few days, maybe a few weeks, for another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you again soon.